In January, we did my annual 31 Days to a More Effective Compliance program where we looked at one thing you could do each day. Well, we're back with the Compliance Tip of the Day. This is the podcast where we bring you daily insights and practical advice on navigating the ever-evolving landscape of compliance requirements. Whether you're a seasoned compliance professional or just starting your journey, my aim in this podcast is to provide you with a bite-sized, actionable tip to help you stay on top of your compliance game. In the chaotic world of 2025 and beyond, compliance will become even more important, and you staying on top of your game will help your company move forward. Today on the Compliance Tip of the Day, we look at the concept of compliance by design and how you can use it to improve your compliance program going forward. Compliance by design is a process of embedding assurance testing procedures into products and services at the design stage, enabling firms, both existing and new companies, to identify instances of detriment from launch throughout the life cycle. How does this apply to compliance? Well, I think if you look at the financial sector, which is experiencing a surge in digitalization, it's transforming the way products and services are delivered to customers. Consumers have accelerated this, or this trend rather was accelerated by consumers, disruptive competitors, and COVID-19, of course. Regulatory expectations around managing risk remain unchanged. You must have fair and consistent outcomes for your products and services throughout their life cycle. So what does all of this mean for the compliance professional? Well, don't wait for processes to go live and then overlay compliance controls as an afterthought. Instead, you need to embed compliance requirements into the design phase of your business processes, systems, and products. This is about weaving compliance into the fabric of your operations and technology at the outset of it. For example, if your company is developing an new customer onboarding workflow, be at the table to ensure that each step, data collection, identity verification, record keeping, compliance checks, KYC, etc., are built into the entire process. By doing so, you prevent gaps which would require costly remediation at a later date. Compliance by design also means collaborating closely with IT, product, and operational teams, cross-functional working groups where compliance requirements are translated into either technical specs or user stories. When compliance is an integral part of your initial blueprint, it's much easier to implement effective controls and harder for businesses to inadvertently bypass compliance in pursuit of other goals going forward. So this is something that would seem to be self-evident, but it speaks to a couple of other concepts that I wanted to try to communicate in this compliance tip of the day, and that's having a seat at the table. If you have a seat at the table, you will know when these opportunities or business opportunities arise. And if you're embedded in your business operations, you can bring the compliance risk management portfolio, strategy, tools, and tactics to bear across multiple silos within your organization. So what are today's 3 tips for today? Number 1, do not wait. Do not try to overlay your compliance controls as an afterthought. Number 2, embed compliance requirements into the design phase of your products. And number 3, remediate based upon monitoring of the information which you obtain after you go live with your product or services. Always remember, it's always about the UX, so remediate as appropriate. This episode, and you'll join me again tomorrow on the Compliance Tip of the Day. This is Tom Fox again. This new podcast, Compliance Tip of the Day, will appear daily, and frankly, it's one of the most requested topics for a podcast that I get on a regular basis. It's going to be short and sweet with one tip with some takeaways that you can utilize to implement into your compliance program. If you've got a question that you would like a tip on, please submit them through our website, and we will use them in an upcoming episode. The compliance tip of the day is a production of the award-winning Compliance Podcast Network. Finally, this podcast contains promotional materials.